Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us today. I'm Gene Lapley, Public Affairs Director for the City Police Department. We're here to make an announcement. We have Mayor Jones and Chief Tarasovic and Acting CAO Chris Bechler who will join us now at the podium. So let me introduce the Mayor.
Thank you, Gene. Come on, Chief and Chris. Good morning. Thank you for coming to be with us today for this secret announcement that nobody knows about. I want to recognize the presence of the President of Council, Michelle Mosby, who is here. We're delighted to have her joining us today. I've asked you here today to officially announce the decision by Ray Tarasovic to step down as our police chief. Ray plans to return to life of retirement officially on February the 20th. The chief and I have been in discussion about this for some months now, and Ray joined us in February of 13. Many of you will remember that he allowed me to draw him out of his, I think it was his 5th retirement, and he made the concession to come on and help us fill the gap of leadership in our police department, and he was willing to do that for as long as necessary. I thought it was for as long as I needed him, but it turns out that it's as long as his wife would let him stay. He's been an excellent police chief, and Ray, we've appreciated all of the energy that you have brought to the job. You've carried yourself like a young man, energetic, enthusiastic, committed, and interested. He has had the community at the very heart of his work, and I think that he has done a fine job. When I think of Ray's service during my tenure, I will always have fond thoughts. Under his leadership, the department has performed well over the last 2 years, and our statistics reflect the fact that we are moving in the right direction. With his leadership and that of his able and committed command staff, we've been able to steadily improve public safety in the city of Richmond. We've faced challenges, and we will continue to face challenges, as all urban centers do, particularly cities with the demographic of the city of Richmond. But our commitment to community policing and the strong leadership that we've been able to have over the last several years has certainly served us extremely well. Let me just take a moment before I bring Ray up to mention William Turner, the officer that was shot in the line of duty last week. We have remained in contact with his family, and our prayers and support continue to be with him. We received good news today that he is on the mend, and we are really, really happy about that. And we're going to do all that we can to continue to support our police officers and public safety officials to help them do the work that is necessary to provide the kind of community that we want to have. And so I'm going to have Ray to speak to you about his departure, but quickly before we hear from Ray, I want to let you know that already we have had some discussions about his replacement, and I expect to announce a decision by the end of the month. I do anticipate that we'll be able to promote from within the department to replace Ray. We have some work to do, interviews and reviews, et cetera, but I'm hoping and I'm optimistic that we'll have an announcement by the end of the month. And so with that, Chief Ray Tarasovic.
I'm not often at a loss for words.
That's true.
As the mayor sometimes reminds me. A little more than 2 years ago, I truly thought that I had run the race, and that the race had been run, and that I had done a good job. The mayor thought that I had a few more laps left in me, and these last 2 years have been 2 more laps at doing what I do, and doing it at a place, as I mentioned when the mayor announced my appointment, at a place I've grown to love. And truly, these 2 years have been the most gratifying and rewarding of my career. And for that, Mr. Mayor, I personally and professionally thank you. The confidence you showed in me 2 years ago, I hope and the expectations, and that's what's neat about, I'm proud to be a Richmond City employee. And I'm proud to be a Richmond City employee because the expectations are high. We don't talk about good, we don't talk about better, we talk about best. So our goals are high. We rarely meet. My staff is here, my extraordinary command staff is here with me today. We rarely meet our goals because our goals are so high. And looking forward, you know, there's a lot of selfishness but in this decision to leave. I want to begin the next part of my life. I want to be a better husband, a better father, a better grandfather, and I want to be able to do those things while I'm still extraordinarily mobile, which I am now. So I thank all of you for your cooperation. I thank my regional partners, you know, in Hanover, in Henrico, in Chesterfield, for their cooperation. We've truly become a regional law enforcement effort. And most of all, I want to thank the women and men of the Richmond Police Department. They are extraordinary. They are extraordinarily dedicated. They are extraordinarily compassionate, and they persevere. And they are the reason why crime keeps going down, even while this city grows. So thank you all very much.
Any questions?
Mr. Mayor, you say you expect to have an announcement of who the new chief is by the end of the month, but there are some who feel that you've already made this decision. What would you say to those people?
I would say to them that we're going to go through a process and that it will be advertised, and persons who are interested in applying will be considered.
Can you give some more details on what that process will be, how you'll choose the next person and what you're looking for?
I saw Johnny here from Human Services. Johnny McLean from Human Services, and it'll be posted. And if you can give us a little bit on the timeline, what necessarily has to happen with that, real quick. And the person's got to apply. Sorry to put you on the spot.
Well, we will go through the standard procedure for any executive position. We will post the job in local newspapers. We will seek out highly qualified candidates, and then we will make a referral to the mayor, who would then go through the interview process.
Anybody else? Yes, sir.
Mr. Mayor, do you have any preference for hiring internally versus bringing someone
Yes, yes. I think that the chief has done a tremendous job, as we've indicated today. And if I'll have the chief come up and just say a word about our crime statistics that have gone down. We have had a slight spike in homicides, but in all other categories, they've gone down. We have a very strong commitment to community policing, and whoever is going to be our chief has got to have a strong commitment to community policing. And I might venture to say that we have not had some of the problems other cities have had because of our connection. We have ministers here today. The connection that we have to people in the community and the very high rate of solving the crimes that are committed in the city. And so we're not looking to change horses. We're looking to make sure that we continue the same kind of progress that we have. And those persons are on the team now. And so that's what we'd be looking to do, is to keep this good thing going. Yes, sir.
Do you want your next chief Teresa, which has been proactive in getting, I don't know, out of our sensitivity, diversity, training, the next candidate, how will you move the ball forward with that as related to body cameras on police, possibly more cameras on police cars? You know, to sort of eliminate the possibility of any doubt related to Ferguson and other areas. How do you want that ball moved forward?
You know, the fact that Richmond has a diverse police department is directly related to the fact that we have not had some of the issues that other cities have had. And we want to make sure that we continue that. Our police department has always been open to innovation, and if the next move is body cameras, et cetera, and we're certainly open to that. We're looking for somebody who is going to make sure that we maintain the progress that we're making, that we do not lose ground. And as Ray said, our expectations are extremely high in terms of making sure that our stats continue to decrease and not increase. Yes, sir.
Chief, if you could just go into a little bit more, when did the decision to decide this was the time to step down?
It's always a difficult decision, and I've made it poorly several times in the past. I think in August, September, I let the mayor know that for my personal reasons, you know, I think about mortality and stuff all that I would like to consider retirement. So we worked out a plan that said, let's get us let's get the year finished, let's get us into the new year. And so the mayor and other folks in the administration made extraordinarily gracious in helping me through this. And it's not easy. It's not easy to leave. It's not easy to leave. I love this. I love this work. Even when it's difficult, I love this work. And it is difficult work. For me, this is a question for me.
Yes, sir. First off, how old are you? So I don't have to search.
I am 66 years old. I will be 67 on April the 9th.
And you, in a community meeting, you had mentioned you'd like maybe to first look into maybe more body cameras for police if funds are available. What would you like to see the department do regarding that with the next police chief and getting the funding for that?
Well, it becomes a matter of funding, then establishing the correct protocols. But it is the trend nationwide to utilize sometime body camera, not vehicle cameras. The body camera is not an expensive item itself. It's the continual storage that is highly expensive. This stuff needs to be stored, maintained in the cloud. It obviously every officer with a body camera on is generating a significant amount of data that have to be retained for a time. So the storage, the ongoing costs are even more significant than the purchase costs. But we're trying to work towards it. They're always difficult financial times, but we're always trying to work towards it. We've already tested them, so we know they work.
Yes, sir.
Chief, what would you like your legacy to be?
A police chief's legacy should be about crime reduction. We do lots of things. You know, we're data driven. We're intense about what we do. We engage the community all the time. We're trying to be information providers. But what I would like my legacy to be, if I have a legacy, is that we did this with intensity. That we did it in partnership. That we continue to do it in partnership. Because as we continue to peel the crime onion, and we're peeling that onion, crime is going down every year. The bits of onion get smaller and harder to peel. So it's going to take more partnership. It's not going to take more. The physical and fiscal resources are going to maintain themselves, but we got to start creating those other informational exchange, community-oriented resources that help us drive crime down. I would like to say that I would like folks in the future to say I was part of that. And I'm only part of it. You know, we came here in 2005. Rodney Monroe came here in 2005, and we started generating this kind of look at policing. And those folks sitting behind you are the ones that will drive it forward.
Did you kind of know, Chief, when you stepped into this position in 2013 that it was not going to be very long? You know, the community, they kind of get used to a new chief, and then now it's another shake-up. Did you kind of know going into it?
We didn't. We knew that I have limitations, that I would not do this forever. But the truth is, I don't think there's going to be a shakeup. I think that we've put in place things that we will have a continuation. The next chief of police will be different than I am, as I am different from the last chief of police. But I think that the methodologies that we use, at least these folks use, will continue. So there won't be a shakeup. There will be a continuation and probably some improvement.
Do you have any potential candidates that you guys are already looking at, Mayor?
Well, anybody who's in the police department now who wants to apply, we're going to look at it.
Will the chief have to say who you bring on board?
And we're going to let him go fishing.
Can we expect any type of gap?
Golfing.
or-
Golfing, I'm sorry.
I get sick on the water.
Can we expect a gap in which, after Terrasoda leaves and the new person kind of comes in?
No, we're trying to have an overlap. We're
Okay.
trying to have like a couple-week overlap where the chief is still here for a couple of weeks after we make the announcement so that there's a seamless transition. Thank you so much.
Thank you all.